Welcome back. Well, let's get straight into it. My social commentator, good friend Prue MacSween in Sydney and former Queensland Premier Campbell Newman in Brisbane. Let's have the debate, can we please? Are we too tough, Campbell Newman? In Victoria, police pulled over a mum and her daughter out for a drive on the weekend. A $1,600 on-the-spot fine because they weren't social distancing. I thought if you lived under the same roof, it was all allowed.
Oh, look, it's just ridiculous overreach. Showed a lack of judgment by the officer concerned. It was good to see it waived. I just wish the Victorian police had been more diligent in dealing with their criminal gang problem across the suburbs of Melbourne the last few years, but perhaps they wouldn't like that comparison too much.
We put some modelling out on the screen tonight, came out from the government, Prue, and I think all Australians can justifiably be proud that we're in the position this week that perhaps we didn't think we might have been 3 or 4 weeks ago. And, everyone take a bow, all the people staying home and doing the right thing. We tend to focus, don't we, in the media on all the ones that are not doing the right thing, and up and down the coast we're having to close beaches going into Easter. Do you think we'll all behave ourselves and keep this trajectory going the way it's going so we can start the economy up again?
Well, I hope so. I mean, this pain, and it is pain. Gosh, because we've got all this time on our hands, you want to be out and enjoying it, and particularly at Easter where it's a traditional family time and friends time. But we're seeing that it's working, so let's hope people understand that if we suck it up and, just keep doing what we're doing, that we're going to actually nail this thing quicker. I just wish maybe that Scott Morrison would stop talking about 6 months. I think we need to now go into a position of some sort of hope that it's going to finish a bit earlier.
Hey, Campbell Newman, this legislation that will go to the federal parliament tomorrow, this is a $130 billion package, revealed today that 62% of casuals who'll get the $1,500 a fortnight out of this package will actually end up better off than they were before this all hit. And of course, people in a family on average earnings are really going to go backwards. And then you've got the compounding issue. I know you and I have messaged about this off screen, about tenants and landlords, commercial and residential. Have we got the balance right?
No, we haven't, and sadly, if what you've just mentioned does come to pass, that is Scott Morrison's $900 cheque moment. And there is growing disquiet out there in the base of the Liberal Party about too much money being thrown around too quickly, about the restrictions you just mentioned are too tight and inconsistent across the states. There's also the issue about the way the Prime Minister's language has hurt people who are aspirational Australians who bought their own residential apartment and who then find they've got tenants who now feel they can push back at them and not pay. And then today, the towering disgrace is the so-called code of conduct for commercial landlords. I know no one wants to look after commercial landlords, and I actually represent investors in that sector, so I'll acknowledge that conflict of interest, but it actually hasn't been a particularly good piece of work, and it's going to hurt people who are just Australians who've worked hard, been self-reliant, and there's a lot of disquiet in the base of the Liberal Party, and a lot of messages and emails flying around, a lot of very angry people about what's happening. And the Prime Minister and the Treasurer have really got to start listening to that feedback, stop being on transmit, start to receive before you make even more mistakes.
Yeah, I've got to leave it there. I'm sorry, but I think that I think you're speaking to a lot of Liberals. I'm getting the same sort of messages, and I hope the government does not forget the aspirational people that put them into government, those quiet Australians, particularly when so many public servants, Prue, don't we know it? They're not taking a hit here. There's been no reduction in pay. There's certainly been no job losses.